Good evening. Welcome to this Wednesday guided meditation session at Vajrayana Institute. I'm Wai Cheong. Together we'll be doing our usual two meditations. The first meditation will be on calm abiding, or sometimes people call it concentration meditation. This is quite an important type of meditation, especially in our day and age, because it really helps us to, as the name implies, calm abiding, calm the body and mind of the various disturbances. Usually in the body, we experience it as a different type of physical tension, tightness, discomfort. And mentally, we experience disturbance in the form of agitation, quite often in kind of thoughts, ruminating thoughts, where we keep going over and over certain issues or concerns that are upsetting us. So with calm abiding meditation, we learn to create conditions, bring together conditions that will help the body to calm down, to release all these unnecessary contractions and tensions, and to help the mind to calm down, persuade the mind to put aside all these different thoughts or concerns for the moment and return the attention to whatever it is we are meditating on. By engaging in calm abiding meditation, we are really helping our body and mind to come back to balance, to put aside or to release body and mind from the our various reactions to stressful situations in our life. It's almost like giving them a chance to have a break, to return to a more baseline level of functioning. And this evening, I thought we will do calm abiding with the help of visualization. Normally, I make use of the breath as a support, but we can also make use of a visualization. So for people who find the breath, not everybody find the breath a pleasant object to focus on. So we can instead invoke our ability to imagine, to utilize different kind of visual images as well as the various positive associations and bring that into our meditation. And this is just a very simple visualization. First, we need to sort of bring to mind a source. We visualize the source of some positive feelings, positive experiences. I usually just imagine the sun high up in the sky. Of course, it's evening time, but by the power of our imagination, we can invoke this source of light, of brightness, of warmth, of energy, and bring it into our meditation. Of course, some people would prefer to, instead of visualizing the sun, I don't visualize, I just think that it is there. They like to visualize Buddha figures or whatever specific image you may have, and that is also perfectly fine. Usually, I just stick to this ball of light somewhere up in front of me, and I'm going to imagine the light shine onto my entire body. And the meditation, essentially, the first part of meditation, to help body and mind to settle down, involve almost like opening up our senses, our awareness, to welcome in this light, this brightness, or whatever textures or experience you want to include. It might be helpful to include a sense of warmth. And we do have a lot of positive associations. We've been out in the light, under the sun, moments in the past where we have experienced like relaxation, moments of happiness, of joy. So all those associations, we want to activate them and bring them into this meditation. So essentially, I'm just asking you or inviting you to imagine as the light touches the different parts of the body, and we're going to go through the body part by part. We are almost like imagining, for example, the shoulders. And when I arrive at the shoulders, I'm going to imagine that the light and the brightness, warmth, or whatever it is, somehow flow into the shoulders, penetrate through the skin, into the muscles, the bones, into the various cells, this part of the body, and filling them up with this positive energy or positive associations. And by so doing, we try to create the conditions to trigger a relaxation response from the body, whereby the body starts to settle down, calm down, start to relax and release the various tensions and contractions. And hopefully a bit later, maybe the mind can follow suit. As the mind get used to the visualizations as well as becoming aware of the kind of positive responses from the body, the mind may also start to settle down and let go of the various thoughts that pop into the mind, and instead allow attention to come back here and now to be with whatever it is we are experiencing. So that's what we're going to do for first meditation. So let's get started. So take a few moments, adjust your body, find a suitable, comfortable posture. You can sit on the chair like what I'm doing. You can sit on the floor on a cushion if you are used to that. You can lie down on the floor on the yoga mat, lie on the bed, a firm surface on your back. And rest hands and arms on some support. You can rest the hands on the knees. Traditionally put one hand on top of the other and rest them in the lap. We want to allow the shoulders to be relaxed. Feel free to close your eyes completely if you find that helpful. You can also leave your eyes open or half open, and that is also fine. So we allow our body time to adjust, to find its way into the posture. To facilitate this process of physical settling down, see if we can let into our awareness sensations from beneath us, sensations coming through at the points of contact between our body and our seat, our body and the ground. We want to highlight to ourselves, we want to let into our awareness sensations of solidity, of firmness and stability, so that we can reassure our body that in this posture, the body is well supported with a sense of balance, ease, and safety. So much so that given time, our body may respond by loosening up, by unwinding, and in its own way, it can release some of those unnecessary contractions and tightenings. And we may find that the body is getting more and more comfortable in this posture. So that is the first step of acquiring a seat for our body in meditation. And next, we're going to spend quite a bit of time with the help of a suitable visualization to see if we can facilitate shifting of body and mind, transitioning into meditation. So let's imagine, or simply tell ourselves in the space in front of us, slightly higher, there is a source of goodness, of positive energy, a source of whatever it is, positive feelings that we would like to experience. I usually consider it like the sun in the sky, blazing ball of light, of brightness, of radiance, of warmth, the source of life-giving energy on earth. Imagine that the rays of light and warmth from the sun fall on my body, sitting here in meditation, just as if we are in the daytime, out in the open, sitting or lying, somewhere where we can receive the light and warmth from the sun. And I'm going to guide you to guide attention to go from the crown of the head, part by part, throughout the whole body, all the way down to the feet. And at each part of the body, as we rest our attention there, we invite the body to open up, to receive this positive energy, this light, this brightness, this warmth from the source of goodness, of positive energy. And we do so with the power of imagination, and we just see if our body will respond to these images, to these ideas, respond to any positive associations we may have with these images and ideas. So let's start at the crown, resting our attention at the crown. We imagine brightness, radiance, light, warmth coming from the source, falling, alighting on the crown of the head. Imagine receiving that brightness and warmth into our own body at the crown. Simply be aware of sensations at the crown, be aware of the images we are working with, without the need to struggle or try hard. Simply bring them together. Be patient and allow our body to respond in its own time and in its own way. Receiving at the crown all this positive energy of light, of brightness, of warmth. Imagine it flowing into the crown, into our head. And we let our attention travel down to the face, to be in touch with the face. And likewise, imagine the light from the sun of our meditation touching the face, brightening the face, warming up the face. And as we absorb in this positive energy, see if it helps us to relax the muscles of the face. Release any tension and tightness in the forehead, in the muscles of the jaw, or the muscles around the eyes. And maybe notice a certain degree of softening of the face, along with any feeling of ease and relaxation and comfort in our own face. See if we can maintain this softness in the face, or if we do notice that we have tensed up our facial muscles again later on, see if we can once again invite the face to relax. We don't have to tense up the muscles in order to meditate. Traveling downward to the throat, to the neck, imagine once again receiving the light, the warmth, the positive energy from the sun, warming up this part of the body, softening it. And then next we attend to our shoulders. Check in to see how the shoulders are feeling today. Notice and acknowledge if you find any unpleasant feelings, any tightness or discomfort at the shoulders. And likewise, imagine being receptive and open and welcoming the wave of light, of energy, of warmth. And just imagine that brightness, the energy somehow flow into the shoulders, all parts of the shoulders, the top, the front, maybe even penetrate all the way to the back, at the shoulder joints. Just fill up this part of the body with that sense of brightness and warmth, and maybe even with a sense of ease and relaxation by the power of our imagination. As we continue, coming back here now, imagining some brightness and radiance and warmth touching us, coming from the source of goodness in front of us. With our attention focus on the both arms at the same time. Imagine the light, the warmth somehow flow into both arms, starting from the shoulders, touches and flows into the upper arms, filling up every cell in this part of our body with that light, the brightness. It flows into both elbows as well. Feel free to do it in your own way and move at your own pace. Let the light and warmth fall on the forearms, penetrating into it, filling it up. And also into both hands, almost as if we can imagine feeling the light, the warmth, the energy flowing in both hands, the palms of the hands, touching the back of the hands, within the fingers, all the way to the fingertips. Invite our attention to come back here now to the arms. Not to worry if our attention may wander off elsewhere, which is totally normal. We simply come back to the body, come back to the visualization. And now that we are aware of both arms, we have imagined that both arms are somehow filled with brightness, with light, with warmth. See if we can give permission, just allow both arms to rest their weight comfortably on their physical support. As we continue, see if we can notice how your body respond to the visualization, respond to your attention. And see if you can highlight anything positive that come out of it, any feeling of relaxation or ease, any pleasant sensations or even interesting sensations, like tingling sensations and so forth, feeling of heaviness, a sense of ease and relaxation. Highlight anything helpful or positive or pleasant and welcome them into your awareness. Make them a part of your meditation. Coming back to the chest, as we attend to sensations at the chest, Imagine more light and warmth and positive energy flow into the chest, filling up the chest cavity with a brightness and warmth and goodness. And imagine the effect doesn't stop at the surface of the skin, it penetrates inwards into the muscles, into the various organs and tissues, and extend all the way to the back muscles, to the spine. Feel that the entire body is slowly, gradually being filled with light, with brightness, with warmth, with pleasant feelings. Continuing, we return our attention to the body, this time to the abdomen. And imagine light and warmth flow from the sun into this part of our body, warming up this part of our body, filling it with something positive, uplifting, energizing. Imagine not only does it touch the skin, the muscles, but also flow and nourishes the various organs here, illuminating the spaces, reaching all the way to our lower back, to the muscles of the lower back, to the spine. Let more light and warmth fall on the pelvis, flow into this part of our body, illuminating it, filling it with radiant energy alongside our attention. Become aware of the weight of the pelvis, resting on the seat or whatever physical support. And see if we can give permission and allow that weight of the pelvis to rest comfortably on the physical support. Surrender that weight to gravity. And as we return our attention, this time to both legs, starting at the hips, be open and receptive and receive more of the light, the warmth, the positive energy, however we imagine it to be. And let it flow into the legs, starting from the hips, down to the knees, further down to the ankles, and eventually in both feet. So that as we are aware of sensations in both legs, all the way down to the feet, We allow ourselves to imagine something bright and radiant, full of warmth, positive energy, somehow filling up both legs, filling the cells in this part of the body, illuminating them. See if we can rest both legs comfortably on the floor or whatever support they are on, and surrender their weight to gravity. Rest our body in this posture. Allow it to continue to settle down, to unwind at its own pace, releasing more and more of those unnecessary contractions and tensions that we hold within the body as a reaction to stress, to difficulties in our life, to our concerns. Just give the body plenty of time. Continue to unwind, to loosen up, to release and settle down. With our attention, rest with the body alongside the visualization. Continue to imagine that the body is receptive and open to receive more and more of that brightness and radiance and warmth, as well as any positive associations that might be triggered or activated. Welcome them into our system. Coming back here now, allow attention, invite attention to come back, to be here with the body and mind. Come back to the visualization that we are doing and continue to imagine receiving that light, that brightness, that warmth, along with any positive feelings. In the light of our visualization, allow our attention to rest with anything positive or helpful, any feeling of physical relaxation or ease and comfort, any mental feeling of joy, of relaxation, stillness, or anything interesting that might be triggered. See if we can attend to them and make them a part of our meditation. Okay, I hope you have a good time under your imaginary sun without the harmful UV light. That is one way we can make use of visualization. We power imagination to bring certain helpful elements into our meditation practice. And by association, by activating those association not only in terms of ideas, but also with actual physical experiences or emotional experiences, we can activate some of those helpful experiences and make them come up again and become part of our meditation. And that visualization is particularly good if you don't like the breath. It's a good way of starting and getting our body and mind, helping them to be more settled into meditation just by imagining it. Yeah. Of course, on a good day, when you have a chance to be out in the open, and you actually can feel the sun's ray on our body, that would be even more wonderful, provided you have a good association with the sun. Yeah. All right. The second meditation is one on mindfulness that I thought might be helpful, especially if you are able to sort of settle down a bit in the first meditation or in general. Then this mindfulness meditation can be quite helpful, help us to develop different kind of insights. And it's a very simple mindfulness practice where I'm asking you to differentiate two different kind of ways in which our attention may be involved. So one category, I call it sensing. That's when our attention is preoccupied with the physical senses, which means our attention is very much here and now, because our senses operate in the present moment, be it through seeing, we are aware of the visual objects in the visual field. We hear, we are aware of the sounds in the surrounding or whatever sound made by our own body. The other thing would be, of course, the body, tactile sensations of the body. We are aware, we are in touch with the tensing and the relaxing. We're in touch with the breath flowing in and out. These are tactile sensations. So I group them all together and call it sensing. Of course, you're munching away at something, then there is taste and also the smell, the sense. Yeah. But those two senses are usually not so crucial in meditation. And if you have your eyes closed, then also there is no visual stimulation. Then that left us with two senses, listening and sensing the tactile sensation. I would just call them sensing. And when we sense, we invite our attention to come back here and now and to operate through our physical senses, which help to keep us aware of the present moment reality. Now, contrast that with the other activity of our mind, of our attention. I simply call it thinking. One is not better than the other. It's marvelous that we have both. We can function, and they quite often they intermingle with one another, sensing and thinking happening at the same time. But we want to be able to, with mindfulness, differentiate them to know when we are predominantly sensing and when we are predominantly thinking. Thinking includes remembering the past. Thinking includes planning for the future. Include daydreaming, fantasizing. Include holding a sort of ongoing inner dialogue or commentary with ourselves. It also include judging, criticizing, being critical. And of course, thinking is involved when we are upset, when we're angry, when we're anxious, when we're depressed. Likewise, when we are excited, we are hopeful, we are happy, we're joyful. So thinking are quite a very important part of mental activity. So in this meditation, I'm simply asking you to know when you are sensing and when you are thinking. When you are aware that, my attention is sensing, for example, the body, see if you can just apply very softly in your own mind a label. sensing. Likewise, when we are aware of sound, there's listening. You can simply call all this sensing. And also become aware when your attention is no longer with your senses, it is with thinking. Thinking. There's a thought, there's a memory, there's a fantasy, there's a judgment, thinking. One is not better than the other, but in this meditation, as you are aware of the two different kind of mental activity, I suggest you make sensing to be the support, to be the focus of meditation. So much so that when you notice that attention is away, involved in thinking, let's take note of it, let's acknowledge it, and then invite our attention to come back to here and now, come back to sensing. You can sense anything. You can sense in the form of noticing sound, you can sense in the form of noticing the breath, noticing the feelings in the body, noticing the touch between hands, between our body and our seat. So all that are sensing. It's not any specific object, but the activity of sensing. And as you learn to differentiate the two, as you learn to alternate and come back to sensing, you start to, the mindfulness can become very helpful subsequently, to be able to differentiate when we are in touch with reality and when we are already lost in thoughts, especially if we're caught up in some negative way of thinking. So let's do a mindfulness practice of sensing and thinking. So just as before, we start with adjusting, finding a suitable posture for our body, one that is supportive of the body without introducing additional or unnecessary pain or discomfort or tension. In whichever posture we adopt, it's good to allow the spine to assume a natural position, upright if we are sitting, straight if we are lying down. Take care that the entire length of our spine is feeling comfortable, at ease, that our posture does not introduce additional tension, especially at the neck or the lower back, the two vulnerable points of the spine. So as we allow our body some time to adjust, to once again find its way into the posture, to settle down physically into the posture, see if we can do our best to reassure our body that it is well supported in this posture, that everything is stable, so that the body, being reassured, can begin a natural process whereby it can decide that it does not have to be so tight, so tense. It can unwind a bit. It can release some of those contractions and tensing in the different parts of the body. So that given time, the body may feel more and more comfortable and at ease in this posture. And as a way to help our body and mind settle back into meditation, let's invite our attention to come back here and now, to come back to sense what is coming to us through our physical senses. Let's start with listening. To listen, somehow we need to stop moving around, we need to somehow settle down, even just for a while. We need to somehow quiet down a bit within ourselves so that we can listen. Listen and be aware of any kind of sound in our surrounding, or the absence of sound, the silence in the air. Listening, sensing through our ears has a particular quality to it, much more spacious, open, receptive, without much effort on our part, simply coming back to this moment, be attentive, and receive whatever sounds might come to us, might come into our awareness. So listen. Without us needing to do anything at all to the sound, we simply allow ourselves to be aware of the sound, simply listen. And you'll find that as you pay attention to sounds in the present moment, you may already notice other things. Apart from the sounds, you notice bodily sensations. You may notice parts of the body that feel tight and tense and uncomfortable. Or you may notice parts of the body that feel relaxed, at ease, comfortable. You might become aware of heaviness or lightness. You may be aware of tiredness. You may be aware of sensations associated with the breath. So let's call this sensing. Each time you notice, you're aware that your attention is here and now, functioning through the physical senses, being aware of sounds, of bodily sensations, as well as other objects of the senses. In your mind, gently label it sensing. Sensing the sounds of my voice maybe, other sounds in your surrounding, sensing tensions and relaxation in your body, sensing the breath, sensing comfortable or uncomfortable feelings in your body. Let sensing be the support for your attention in this meditation. Invite your attention to come back here and now and rest in sensing. And before you notice it, you might suddenly become aware that your attention is not quite with sensing, not quite being here and now. Something else is happening, thinking. See if you can be aware of the many different ways we think. We can think in the form of remembering the past, be it in words or images. We can think in the form of planning for the future. We can fantasize, we can daydream. We can maintain an inner conversation or commentary. We can think in the form of passing judgment. See if we can simply label all this activity as thinking. No good or bad, but simply another way we make use of our attention. And once we notice it, once we label it as thinking, see if you can invite your attention to come back here and now and rest itself in the activity of sensing. So I'm going to keep quiet from this point on and allow you to explore for yourself the difference between sensing and thinking, and see if you can cultivate greater mindfulness of what your attention is doing from one moment to another. And then finally, it'd be good to just check in and notice how your body and mind are doing at the end of meditation. Highlight to yourself anything helpful or positive. By highlighting the positive features, the auspicious features that come out of the meditation, we are creating new positive associations with our meditation practice. And we dedicate the positive momentum we create through meditating this evening. That may anything good or beneficial and helpful that come out of the meditation, may they somehow stay with us, may they linger in body and mind, helping us to form new beneficial habits. And this way, may they continue to benefit us long after the meditation is over. Okay, that's it. Piece of cake, isn't it? So I hope you enjoy your meditation, and thank you for joining in, and I'll see you next week. So have a good week ahead and a good evening. Thank you.